Hey everyone, this is Melanie from thehedonistcook.com. Tonight we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on marinara sauce. I found a really easy recipe that sounds really good. I haven't actually tried it yet, so this will be the first time for both of us. So there's very few ingredients. Hopefully you have most everything at home already, and you can just go pick up the 2 cans of tomatoes that you need. I'm also really excited today because I'm planning on launching my new website, thehedonistcook.com, tonight. So this is going to be part of my little celebratory meal to hopefully launch that. So if everything goes well, you should be watching this on the new website, thehedonistcook.com. So anyways, just exciting day for me. And first thing you want to do is get your ingredients together. So why don't you go ahead and chop up your onions and your garlic, grab your other ingredients, measure them out, and we'll get started. Okay, so now that we have all our ingredients together, I'm heating up our pan. You can see that I'm not using my beloved cast iron. That's because tomatoes are really acidic, and when you use tomatoes in cast iron, it takes the seasoning off. So make sure when you're using cast iron that you're making sure that nothing you're adding in is going to be acidic, like tomato paste, stuff like that. So the first thing we're going to do is add our 6 tablespoons of olive oil. I have it at about medium-high. That should warm up pretty fast. The next thing we're going to be doing is adding our onions and our garlic. The recipe that I saw originally called for 4 cloves of garlic. I used 8 or 9 because I really like garlic. You can adjust that if you're making it for kids or someone that doesn't like it. Obviously change it. I also added some additional seasonings, and I've never made this recipe before, so I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but from the recommendations I saw, I added basil, about a teaspoon of basil, 1/4 teaspoon of oregano just because I don't like it, and a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes and a bay leaf. And then I think that should add a little bit to it. Again, if you were making it for someone that was like a kid or picky, you could leave all that out, but it's definitely going to give you somewhat of a bland sauce. So just going to add these in here. And as you can see, it's a lot, but it's pretty finely chopped, so as it reduces down, it's going to get even smaller. Make sure the olive oil is covering everything. You're going to want to saute this for 6 to 8 minutes. When it starts getting brown and real soft, we'll know that it's time to add in our other ingredients, but definitely keep an eye on it for the next 6 to 8 minutes and make sure that it doesn't burn. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. Hopefully you can see we definitely have soft and slightly browned onions and garlic. It's looking really good. My apartment smells amazing, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, excuse me. The next thing I'm going to do is add my seasonings and saute them for about 1.5 minutes. Again, I have no idea why recipes call for this, but all the best recipes that I know of for soups and stews and sauces recommend that you take your dried herbs and you saute them in with the onions and garlic for a minute or 2. So add a little black pepper, some salt. I want to add about a teaspoon of salt, black pepper to taste, and when you put a bay leaf in there, don't forget to take that bay leaf out before you serve it because people don't like to eat that. Okay, now we're going to add in our 2 containers of whole tomatoes. I just used cheapo tomatoes from Kroger because that's all I had time to do. But I definitely think it makes a difference with the quality of canned tomatoes that you get. I would definitely recommend going to Earth Fare, Whole Foods, a co-op, and getting some higher quality tomatoes if you're going to be making this, because it's not that much more expensive and it makes a big difference. So I just turned the heat up to high, and I'm going to break up these tomatoes a little bit. Get them a little bit smaller. Just use the edge side of a spoon, or this works really good. You just kind of push it up against the edge. Hopefully you can see that, and just break it in half. And as it softens, obviously it's going to be easier to do that. So we're going to bring this up to a boil. In the meantime, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of sugar. That's going to cut down on the acidity of the tomatoes. If you look at pretty much every recipe or every can of tomato sauce, you're going to see sugar in there, which sounds kind of weird, but it balances out the acidity. You could also use butter if you wanted, and if you want a real natural taste, don't put any in. So this is what it should look like at this point. It's going to be really runny. We are going to cook it for approximately an hour and a half once it comes to a boil, stirring occasionally to make sure it's not burning. We're going to keep it on a low simmer, and basically we're pretty much done. Super quick and easy marinara sauce. So there we go. We'll come back in a little bit to see what it looked like. Okay, so our sauce is ready. I've been cooking it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, just stirring about every 15 minutes. I noticed that it boiled at a really low temp, so I actually had it on like 1, as low as I could get, and it still was simmering, so make sure to keep an eye on that. I don't really know why it heated up so much, but this is what it looks like, and I just tasted it, and it's so good. I've never made pasta sauce before. It always seemed like something that was really complicated, and I needed to be Italian to understand how to do it. So I'm really excited that I did this recipe, because from now on, I don't think I'll ever be buying, sauce from a store unless, I'm really short on time. This tastes as good as, something I can get at the store, and I made it myself. So I'm really excited about dinner tonight. I've got some really good ciabatta rolls. I'm gonna go get a salad, maybe do like an arugula salad with this. It's incredibly satisfying. Don't forget that you can always double a recipe like this because it freezes really well, and it's a great thing to have on hand when you don't really want to cook but you still want something good. So thanks so much for checking out the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to go to my website, thehedonistcook.com. Thanks.